welcome to my channel. My name is Facundo Unia. I hope you're doing fine. Today I'm gonna do my first trailer breakdown for the new Superman movie. And I also found some Easter eggs that I hope you're gonna enjoy. Let's dig in. Trailer starts with a skyline shot of Metropolis, and in the background you can see Luthor Corp. Luthor Corp is Lex Luthor's corporation before he changed name to LexCorp. Lois Lane already knows that Clark Kent is Superman, and they're sitting in the living room. And then Lois Lane says, "You really want me to interview you as Superman?" And Clark Kent says, "Yes, let's go for it." These scenes reminds me of the Richard Donner's Superman from 1978, when Superman comes flying to Lois Lane's balcony and they're having an interview. The scene is very cool because Clark Kent says that he never lies. In the Superman from 1978, Lois Lane didn't know that Clark Kent was Superman. So when Clark Kent says, "I never lie," it was pure luck that Lois Lane never asked him, "Tell me about your secret identity," because Superman doesn't lie, and then he was just totally out himself as Clark Kent. In the 1980s reboot, Clark Kent got his job at the Daily Planet by interviewing himself as Superman. That's so funny. I love when Superman leans in and says, "Yes, Miss Lane?" That feels very, very Richard Donner. Lois says that Superman is in a lot of fire. In this shot, we see a spaceship that might be Kryptonian. And Lois Lane also mentions the Department of Defense. The Department of Defense is looking into Superman's actions. We also see Rick Flag Sr. He's the father of Rick Flag, whom Peacemaker killed in the Suicide Squad. Flag Sr., who we already seen in the Creature Commandos. And Lois says, "Your actions." And Superman says, "I stopped the war. This is the kind of Superman I love." Both Clark and the hero, because Superman will always try to save lives. Superman is being arrested by Rick Flag Sr., Ultraman, and the Engineer. Ultraman doesn't seem to be from Earth 3 in this version. Earth 3 is a world where the Justice League has become evil. I think that this Ultraman is basically Bizarro, a clone of Superman. The Engineer is from the superhero team, The Authority, which is where I first met two of my favorite characters, Apollo and Midnighter, a badass gay couple who are very much in love, and they're just so cool, and they're doing so many bad stuff. I really love them. Lois asks Superman, "Did you check with the president?" At the same time, we see Lex Luthor on screen. In the comic books, Lex was once president of the United States. Superman replies, "I only represent me and doing good." I love this line because I'm not a representative for a country. If I didn't act, people were going to die. I really love this line because Clark Kent will always try to save lives no matter what. Saving lives is what Clark Kent, Superman, does. Really love what James Gunn is doing. Then we see skyscrapers collapsing. It could be from the fight with the Kaijun we see in the trailer. And then we see the character, the Hammer of Boravia, and he's attacking what I think is Maxwell Lord's building. And Superman says, "People were going to die." Superman falls down to the ground and he gets saved by the man, and I think Superman feels really happy that this man is helping him, because right now Superman seems to be very hated by the public. Superman actually doesn't need their help, but he's very happy that the people are accepting him and helping him out. And he also feels very Richard Donner, because in Superman was very hurt, lots of people were trying to save Superman from General Zod. Also spot the Stagg building. Simon Stagg was responsible for the accident that turned Race Mason into Metamorpho. Metamorpho is awesome. In the Batman Superman World's Finest comic book by Mark Waid, he's the prime suspect in the murder of Simon Stagg. And we see Metamorpho later in the trailer. The trailer shows the Superman logo, and it really feels like the original Superman movies, because with the light and the logo and James Gunn's name comes up in the screen. Yeah, it's very good. I really love this scene. The Fortress of Solitude gets invaded by Lex Luthor and the Engineer. She uses her technopathy and nanotech abilities to do whatever she wants, and what she wants in this scene is destroying Superman's droids. Luckily, she gets attacked by the very awesome Krypto, who's defending the fortress. Here, Pa Kent in a voiceover, your choices, your actions, that's what make you who you are. That's such a powerful moment because I really believe in this. I really believe that people should be judged by the actions, not by who they love, where they come from, or something like that. The important thing is what we do. That's what I believe, and that's why I really love this scene. Superman was created by two Jewish men, Jerry Siegel and Joel Shuster, whose families survived the Holocaust. Superman has always been an allegory for immigration. Superman in prison and Metamorpho is also there, with his hand crafting kryptonite, and that's what keeps Superman in check. And he's getting beaten by some LexCorp goons. And I think this scene is actually in the Phantom Zone because there's a lot of people who are incarcerated. And I don't know if the people are heroes or villains, but LexCorp's guards are hitting Superman and he can't defend himself because Metamorpho is using kryptonite. Lex Luthor says, Superman, he's no man, he's an it, because Lex Luthor is very jealous of Superman because he's getting all the attention that Lex Luthor actually wants for himself. This scene is very cool with Guy Gardner Green Lantern, Mr. Terrific and Hawkgirl. They seem like their outfits, but the outfits are supposed to be corporate because they're working for Maxwell Lord. And evil invaders attack a bunch of civilians, and a little kid holds up a Superman flag and says, Superman, help us. And I really love this scene, and I also really loved it. The first time I saw it in the teaser, I thought it was a very strong scene. I think that Mr. Terrific and Lois Lane comes to the Phantom Zone to save Superman. I think that's what happens in this scene. His mom says, I cleaned the boots. In many of the comic books, Martha Kent is the one that creates Superman's suit. 1980s reboot, it was Superman's aura that kept the Superman suit intact. The scene where Lois and Clark are kissing is so adorable, and actually we've seen this scene many times in different TV shows and movies because this scene is very iconic and so cute. The last scene is so cute when Krypto is lying down on Superman and protecting him, and Lois Lane says, "You have a dog?" Oh. Superman is the first movie in the DCU, but it's not the first project of the DCU, because Creature Commander came out on HBO Max is actually the first James Gunn DCU project. But also, his Suicide Squad and Peacemaker TV show are affecting things that happens in the Superman movie. And more cool news is that Supergirl just wrapped up. And I'm really excited about Supergirl because it's based on a Supergirl comic book that I really like. And Jason Momoa is acting as Lobo in the movie. And it seems like a very cool mix because Jason Momoa is very Lobo. Okay. I haven't seen the new Superman movie, but I think I'm gonna love it. I think James Gunn is doing an extremely good job with this movie because this Superman feels like Superman to me. So, let's see. Thank you for listening. And are you like me? Do you really want to see James Gunn's Superman? Tell me down in the comments. Or maybe you don't want to see the movie at all. Tell me anyway. Please leave a like. And why not subscribe so we can hang with each other more? Okay. Bye bye hugs. Bye bye hugs. Take care. Bye bye hugs.
Pom pom pom, pachom pachom chom, quédate, pom pom.